Oof, man, tell you it's tough running at 12 in the afternoon. The body just wants to quit. So try running at 12 or 1 in the afternoon. I have to do the same in Dubai. Run on the beach 12 or 1 o'clock. That improves your ability to handle heat, but it's tough. So anyway, I thought I'd give you my thoughts about something that I think impacts all of us. It might look very silly, but it's very powerful. And that is social acceptance, your sense of self-worth, appreciation. Now, you might think that this is not a very important factor, or you might think this is not something really worth thinking about, but it influences you. I'll tell you how and why. I'll give you first a background. When I was small boy, my parents, my stepfather, Frederick Pinto, my mother, used to always take me to, once a while, to this Mangalorean get-togethers. They used to meet on a Friday being a holiday. They used to meet at someone's house for a party. It would be baptism, communion, confirmation, wedding, parents, some, Christmas, New Year. So those days in the 80s, there were fewer Indian communities. Okay, so the Mangalorean community was filled with Mangaloreans. They have these common communities. Like I'm sure British communities, they meet together. People from Ireland, they meet together. Americans, they meet together. So in India, you have different, so many states. So people from a common culture and a common religion, they tend to meet together. So state, culture, whatever. So they used to meet, this Mangalorean group. And, when you would meet, you would exchange greetings. Oh, your child has grown up so much. What's happening with your work? And the basic niceties. The one thing which my Catholic parents were subjected to was comparison. Oh, your son is so smart, or your son has grown so big. So with those friendly remarks, used to also come, sarcastic comments. Like for example, in my case, I used to talk a lot. I was very talkative as a child. So they used to comment, oh, your boy talks so much. Oh, like they would say to my mother, Helen, your son talks like a girl, Oh my goodness, how do you have the patience? Stuff like that. My parents used to take it really personally, very personally. Because for them, they wanted their nose up in the air. They wanted people to say, oh, your son is so smart, your son is so dynamic, whatever. And obviously, they would compare, my daughter got first rank. Oh, my daughter is good at singing. And then what is your son good at? And, what does he do? So it's always that way. And my parents used to kind of shun me at the back. They would never stand up for me. They would never say, like if someone would compare me as being talkative, they would never say something that, whatever. If someone you love is being put down, you'll stand up for that person. So my parents never stood up for me. And being a small child, you look up to your larger than life guardians to stand up for you, and they never did. And in fact, my parents used to tell me, even worse than that, how ashamed they were of me. When will you grow up? When will you become mature? When will you stop talking? Because of you, how much dad had to get insulted. So I was always made to feel little. I was always made to feel not worthy. My mother and stepfather used to rub it. You're a mistake. You shouldn't have been born. That boy is so smart. At least he's studying. And my grandmother, another fucking retard. I'm glad she's dead. She is one of those old school, savage kind of women. She'd say, you son of a bitch, you should have died, why don't you go eat his shit? And she used to talk like that, fucking whore. She never knew how to take care. She was that old school. I don't have any iota of, I don't have a soft corner for her at all. Anyway, good she's dead, she deserved to die. So, anyway, so I was always abused this way, verbally, emotionally, mentally. And I always had a doubt, why was I born? I used to go outside the balcony, sit and cry, look up to the stars and, you see the stars and you'd see one star that is really big. So I'd always assume that is Jesus. Jesus and that star, and I'd say, why did you let me be born? And I would cry, I want to die, and I would cry. Seriously, you're talking of a boy who was old as 7-year-old looking up to the stars. Yes, Papa making video. So, 7-year-old boy looking up to the stars, crying and talking to an imaginary, an imaginary celestial sky being, and telling, why don't you help me? And just to cry. So this continued, and then in school I used to be bullied. In school, the boys used to get together and bully me because there was always these popular gangs and I was not popular. Obviously, their parents used to support them, but not me. The coolest boys were the ones who had a video collection, audio collection, great music system, used to listen to music. Parents used to allow them to have video games. But my parents never allowed me all this. Never. Even if they could buy it, they wouldn't buy it. So I was always, looking at other people's lives, other people having a better, a better environment, better guidance. Like parents who would take their children to play games, but my parents would never take me to play, those arcade games. So I always used to how is it to do all that, I remember once, this incident I remember very well. Once my uncle, my cousin, they were going to go to Al Ghurair. Al Ghurair was one of the shopping malls in Dera in Dubai. This is the 80s. And that was the only shopping mall. So from Sharjah to Dubai, it's like 40-minute drive. And then you go to this massive shopping mall. That was the only shopping mall those days. And there was this Sindbad, which was an arcade game, massive area. So it used to be my dream to go there. I'd go there once a year. So one day, that my uncle and his entire family wanted to take my Bombay relatives who had come down. That lady is my mother's sister. So another sister had come down and they wanted to take them to go to the shopping mall to play arcade games. So I wanted to go also. My parents didn't want to go. So I kept begging and pleading and asking my parents. They said, no. They said, until you study, until you finish your homework, until you do this, until you do that. So, and I remember my uncle and aunts, they said, let him come. So I kept begging, pleading. I went on. Finally, they said, okay. I dressed up. I ran down only to find out they had already left. And broke my heart, Broke my heart because I wanted to go and play those arcade games. And on top of that, my parents used to never allow me to read books, any book, other than school books. Like they used to be, in India, Indians know this, Twinkle used to be a comic book, Amar Chitra Katha, That was a kind of Hindi household name, but they used to give the historical events nicely put as a comic. DC and Marvel used to also be there, but my parents would never buy even a single one. So I used to borrow and read from, like in the school only, from the boys who used to bring it. And I used to go to the school library where you could read and look at any book. The librarian used to see me looking at books. He would allow me to take more than one book. I'm normally allowed to take one book a week. He would allow me to take 3-4 books a day. He was asked to read that many books. I always wanted to read books. My parents would never allow. If they would find any book that I own, they would take it and tear it and throw it out. So anyway, this is how I was born and raised. So never had support, nothing. On top of that, I was to go to the school and boys used to bully me because I was never part of any gang. So throughout my life, I was subjected to being rejected by society, being thrown out, being compared, being made fun of throughout my life. And I had nobody to guide me, no one. And this is not even the internet days, man. If you lived in a small little place, that was your world. It didn't expand. It never expanded beyond those 4 walls, you know. So I never knew anything. Then it went on. Church, we used to only go to church. They used to play on a Thursday or Friday. All the boys and girls used to come to play together. That was my only outing, St. Michael's Church in Sharjah. So after that, as I grew up, the same thing continued even in my adult life. Whether it was my attempt at going to college, same thing. I would never get along with the boys and girls of my age. I'd rather get along with the warden. There was a warden in this hostel. His name was Father Castellino. He was the most feared and most hated. But he and I got along very well. I'll tell you his story one day. He was the most feared. He was the most hated. People used to shiver, like piss in their trousers when they would see him. But I developed a liking for him and he kind of put his arm around me to always take care of me because I was always bullied and beaten by everyone else. So he always was there for me. So I always went through life having people elder than me or far ahead, but never my age or never in my group. Never. Today, the same thing has happened. My age people, my age group, they don't like me. And I'll tell you, I'm not just saying it for the sake of saying it. You're watching my videos, so you don't know anything. But my age people, my age group, none of them, hardly anyone likes me. People of my school days or classmates, we don't get along with each other. I mean, say, hi, how are you? Bye, that's about it. Here in Samui, the island, I keep away from almost everyone. In fact, any of the groups that I join, any of the Facebook groups, because I have this habit of asking questions, I always ask questions. I'm very curious. I always want to learn. Like, for example, when the iMac I was going to buy, I asked 10,000 questions. How much RAM to have? What is the difference? SSD, HDD, hard disk and SSD drive. And computer, I kept asking questions for 6 months. Which computer, which screen, which monitor, which graphics card, what RAM, which brand, which mouse, which keyboard, wireless, with the wire. So many questions. I mean, people are getting pissed off with me. In fact, I get kicked out of a lot of groups. Yesterday, in the Samui group that I was part in, that's the only group here. They sent me this thing. They deleted one of my posts. You must have seen. I was asking about a coffee machine. They said, please, we are getting complaints about you in the group. Please stop posting, like anything not related to the place. So that actually triggered the memory which made me make this topic. So because of my past, my upbringing, the person that I am, because I was not guided properly. I had no one to guide me, nobody. I was a self-taught guy. So I used to read by myself, I used to research by myself, I used to ask other people. I would ask non-stop. I would ask questions about life, love, masturbation, sex, friendship, God. Oh, people used to go mad. They used to keep away from me. That's why the very few mentors that I have changed my life. I would never stop asking questions. And you need to understand that there was no internet those days. There was no YouTube those days. There was only these encyclopedias, Britannica. I remember my cousin sister's house. They used to have these encyclopedias. I used to read through all of them. I used to read each and every book. Every snake, every bat, every whale, every fish. You know, there were each books. A book on fish, a book on snakes, a book on insects, a book on planets. See, each and every book. And I was the only guy reading them. My cousin sister and cousin brother never read. In fact, even if there was a dictionary, I would, with pictures, I would see it. So, I've always been born and raised as a person who had to teach himself. So even today, when I do purchase anything, even a game, see, it has been it has been 2 months, 3 months, 2 months since I bought my computer. 3 months since I bought a Nintendo Switch. Now, if I want, I can buy 1,000 games easily. I have the money. 1,000 games, 1,000 games. Click of a finger, I can buy it. Guess how many games I bought? Nothing. Not bought a single game because I'm busy checking the genres. I'm busy checking the ratings. I'm busy checking, okay, strategy or this or that. The only game which I have is Command and Conquer, which is on my old iMac. I've told myself I'll finish that game first because I purchased it. I'll finish that game. And I have the list of games that I want to buy next, like Wolfenstein or Doom or a racing game. So I'm very calculative that way. I like to be sure what I'm doing, you know. Enough and more research. So it's more like I learn from other people's mistakes. That's how you succeed. You learn from other people's mistakes, you know. That's why I'm a good coach, because I made so many mistakes. I can guide a person and prevent them from making these mistakes. So this group, they got pissed off, they got angry. Don't blame them. I'm not a very likable guy. I don't get along, or rather, I don't know, maybe I get on people's nerves. And it's something I've learned to accept, that I'm not a very likable guy. I am not very popular. I think that is one thing we all have to accept at some point in our lives. We all like to be the hero of a movie. We all like to be the most happening person. And the proof of this is the proof that we seek people's approval, attention, and appreciation is Facebook. Facebook, people keep checking how many likes did they get, how many good comments did they get. Oh, this one ignored my picture, this one did not put a like. How do we know all this? Because we die for people's appreciation, we die for people's approval. We want people's kind comments and flattery and praise. Oh, he's so smart, he's so nice. Like my baby, every time my baby does something good, my wife says, oh wow, hey, this, that. So we are programmed to always seek approval. But the fact of the matter is, not all of us are meant to be popular. Not all of us are meant to be liked. Not all of us will be handsome. Not all of us will be beautiful. Not all of us will be appreciated. That's a fact of life. Not everyone can be the most hip and happening person. So in my case, the shock for me was to realize I'm not popular, I'm not liked, but worse than that, I am an irritant. The most shocking thing for me to accept was I'm meant to be an asshole. The most unbelievable thing. Because I've always lived with the axiom that I always wanted to believe I'm handsome, I'm smart, I'm liked. Because all of us, we want a very beautiful girl, want a very handsome guy, want someone who is successful. We don't want to be a failure. When we see a movie, we always want to be the hero. We always want to be with the hero. We always like the heroine. We don't like the villain. We don't like the loser. We don't like the side person. So the fact is, we all can't be that. That is why, as a young man growing up, even in my 30s, it was not something new to get from a girlfriend that how can I introduce you to others, or what will society say. Even when I started my career working as a coach and consultant, people used to tell me, Loy, just keep it confidential that I'm working with you. Then I'd say, okay, I would never understand why. But then if I'd ask them that, can I use you as my reference or recommendation? No, Loy, please, I don't want to be associated with you publicly. Don't feel bad, but I'm telling you straightforward. My image would get affected, or my credibility. And at that time it used to hurt, but it kind of made sense now, because I have this controversial flair, these tattoos and this shock, and so someone with a good image in society, for whose success depends on society's approval, it's not good. For example, you never see like a successful celebrity being friends with a drug dealer or a pedophile or a criminal. They would distance themselves, because if you associate yourself with that person, your brand image can get destroyed. Sponsors will pull out. Companies will no longer want to work with you. We live in a society that everything is interconnected, so everyone wants to be part of a good, nice, clean image. It was a reality I had to accept at some point. And today I've accepted it. It has been ages since I accepted it. Not only accepted it, I thrive in it. In fact, whenever I feel upset or sad that people don't like me or don't want to hang around with me, or I'm not very popular, I ask myself this question. On the day that I tried to commit suicide, on the day I was financially down, on the day I needed help, how many of these people who would appreciate, praise me, or talk good about me, how many of them would come to my aid? The answer is zero. None of these people who praise you, who talk good about you, who kiss your ass, who flatter you, not a single one will even give you a glass of water. They only want to associate with you when you're up there. Take it from me. When you're successful, your phone will ring incessantly, emails will come in, people will want to be a part of you, or want to associate with you, or want to invite you or call you over. Please come, it'll be an honor to grace us with your presence. But the day you lose your money, the day you lose your success, the day you have a controversy or scandal with your name, all of them, even your relatives, your friends, everyone will desert you. Everybody will desert you. Nobody will be there. So I remind myself this. How many of these people will take care of me? How many of these people will be there for me? How many will, help me with money or food? The answer is simple. None. So then, if they don't take care of me, if they don't help me, if they're not there for me, why do I need them? Why do I give importance to them? I remember my ex-girlfriend saying that, Loy, how can I associate with you? How can I introduce, if you have a child, how can I tell everyone this is the father, this freak, this abnormal guy is father of my child? Today, it's not that I feel proud, see, I'm well off. No, I can understand where they're coming from, because they were born and raised with the importance of societal approval. For them, that approval, that mark, that stamp of appreciation, approval was important. Why do you think we dress up in a way, we show off, we meet, hey, hi, how are you? It's so nice. It's so great to meet you. Oh, we missed you so much. Why do people talk all that shit? Even though they don't mean it. This is what society is. I am aware of the fact that as my baby is growing up, she will also face this. Like just a few days ago, there was this nice little toy, big toy. It's like a house, playhouse for a child. There was a second hand available. I contacted this person and said, I would like to buy this for my baby. The person said, hey, sure, fine, come over. So I said, I'll just get ready and come over. So I went, had a shower. I think by the time the person checked my Facebook profile and saw me with tattoos and all that, and this person, I said, okay, I'm coming now with my family. She said, sorry, it's sold out. I was like, huh? I was like, no, we just said that, I'll come over. No, it got sold out, sorry, bye. I was like, okay. Found it strange. Although I suspect that the person was lying. But then after a few days, I again saw the same item on sale. I was like, okay. So I clearly understood that maybe either they are horrified or they were like, yuck, we don't want this guy to come. I was talking to one of my friends of that group who was admin. He said, Loy, just ignore these kind of people. There are some who believe that if you look prim proper with a suit and tie and clean, you're a decent man. He's saying, I know the amount of decent men and women here who are clean, who hold the Bible, or who will show you that they are have a nice standing in society. But we know after hours what they do, who they go out with, what they smoke, what they drink, and how they cheat on their partners. It's not all, but it's just like, whatever. But I do know that my baby will maybe have to endure people making fun of her. Oh, your dad looks like a freak. Oh, yeah, this girl's father looks like this or like that. I'm also mentally prepared that one day maybe my baby might turn around and say, I'm ashamed to have a father like you. Or, you know how I'm insulted hanging around with you. You can get that. I remember Sylvester Stallone, that Rocky movie, when the son tells the father that, how much of shit I have to take being associated with you. And the beautiful answer Sylvester Stallone gives. Yeah, something I've watched so many times. And, I do know that maybe my wife can also turn around. I've told my wife, maybe you'll be ashamed to hang around with me. But my wife has told she doesn't care. Because her own husband, who was prim, proper, whatever, he was ashamed of taking her out with him. He used to always tell her, don't stand close to me. Or even on Facebook, it seems he never took a single photograph of them together. That's why, in my case, I always put her on my Facebook platform or whatever to show I'm not ashamed of her, proud of her. So my wife is okay. I told her, if anytime you feel embarrassed, you tell me, you can go out alone. I don't need to come. But my wife refuses. She says, no, we go anywhere, we go together. So I don't know, maybe my baby one day would say that, I'm ashamed to, it's a shame to hang around with you or whatever. If that day does happen, we'll see it. But I don't expect anything. If she says she's ashamed, fine. Go do your own thing. If she wants to proudly show who's her father, well, I'm honored. Thank you. I appreciate. Not that I expect it. If you do it, great. You don't do it, don't give a fuck to it. End of the day, these sweet words and all this is nice, but actions do the talking, So, overall, what I want to tell you is, there will be people who will put you down. There will be people who will doubt you. It's not that I'm not going to give you a motivational talk like believe in yourself and know your own self-worth. Just understand this much. The reality of life is when you have too much of money and success, everyone will kiss your ass. Jeffrey Epstein, remember? But when you're named and shamed and you have nothing, everyone will keep away from you. That's how life is. That doesn't mean you're a good guy or a bad guy. I know so many assholes who keep putting on Facebook, real assholes, who abuse their wife, who beat their children, but they say that, there was nobody in my tough times, my bad days. Imagine a guy who abuses people is saying there was nobody there for me during my tough times. You're never a true friend. So a person who abuses children and women, who is a drinker, drug addict, he says that. So he's feeling good by saying, oh, you're never a true friend. Even drug addicts have their best friends. So it's not to say that if you have or don't have, you're good or bad. No. The point is, you should know who you are. You should know who you are. Okay? And go out and do what you have to do. It's all about, for me, my value systems are very clear. I want to make money. I want to be self-sustaining. I want to enjoy my life. I want to be with my family. That's it. I don't care about anything else. People can kiss my ass. People can abuse me. People can talk shit about me. If you call me I'm a great guy, doesn't make me a great guy. Doesn't increase my bank account. Like my old mentor used to say, I don't need a certificate of good character from your end. I know who I am. So in the same way, if you call me a piece of shit, a low life, the bank balance doesn't go down, man. Just money talks. Everything else, like they say, bullshit walks. So yeah, these are my thoughts. Know who you are. That's all I want to tell you. Know who you are. Don't base your self-worth on people's kind comments. How many people love you or how many people... No. Who matters? The people who really matter, the ones who really matter. It's their opinion you should consider. And ask yourself, on the day that you lose everything, when you have no money, nothing, when you're dying, who will be there for you? And if those people who will be there for you, if they tell you something, fine. The freeloaders, don't bother. Don't bother with the freeloaders. I get plenty of people on YouTube. I get plenty of people on WhatsApp and give me left, right and center. Say I'm a piece of shit, I'm a this, I'm a that. Thank you, whatever. Happy to know. So, let me know your thoughts. I always love to hear your opinions. And this is me signing off. Take care.